Your first grace exercise is actually not an exercise. Plot twist. It is a task, and there's a difference between the two. In an exercise, you depend on a specific execution in order to get a specific result, which is probably why they're so popular. We are fearful creatures and we want certainty. However, by now, I hope that you've experienced enough to know that this certainty thing, kind of a myth. And that's where the tasks come in. In a task, we aim to solve a problem by following a set of guidelines, and by doing so, we get a set of results. Results that we perhaps wanted, and results that we never knew that we actually needed. By aiming for the specific result, we get to find one part of our comfort zone, and then we direct our attention to that part and we expand that part, which isn't a bad thing. But how did you know that you actually needed to improve that specific part? Why not other parts of your comfort zone? When you're working on a task, you get to explore the entire boundary of the comfort zone, and you get to expand all of it as well. Now let's take a look at the barrier squat. In order to execute this task, you're first going to have to find 3 light objects. You're going to squat down, and you're going to place these objects towards 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And then you're going to stand back up. Now, you have to imagine that there's an invisible barrier directly in front of your chest. And at no point should your chest be allowed to move through this barrier. It can lean from side to side, you can lean backward, but you should not be able to move through the barrier. The goal of the task is to take one foot and gently touch all 3 objects. And you can start in whatever direction you choose. Here I'm starting towards 3 o'clock. Then I go towards 12 o'clock. And then I go towards 9 o'clock. Now it's difficult to be honest with yourself here, and it's difficult to know which position your chest is in as well. So I would recommend that you record yourself from the side so you know the position of your torso. Now because of these guidelines, touching something with your foot and not allowing your chest to lean forward, you get to focus on the same type of qualities and the same body parts that you were focusing on improving in the shallow knee bend and the demi-plie. The knees and the ankles have to be positioned in many different ways here, and they have to bend in many different ways in order for you to be able to touch all 3 objects. You're going to have to work with the rest of your body as well, of course, to find the appropriate counterweight so that you don't fall on your butt. And once you've been able to touch all 3 objects with both feet, you're going to squat down and you're going to push the objects a couple of centimeters away from you, and then you're going to repeat the task. And you're going to do this until you're not able to touch the objects anymore. So in this task, we don't count repetitions, we simply do sets of enough attempts that will allow us to get to the point where we can't solve the task anymore. Now, before you go ahead and try out this task, I want to remind you, it isn't an exercise. It isn't dependent on a specific technique. It's a task, and you can solve it in whatever way you choose. So try not to copy the execution that you see here, and try not to get stuck in a very particular solution or to a very particular technique. Explore things and allow yourself to move in more ways and figure out how many ways you can actually solve the problem. And have fun with it.